Battle through the firmament. Great world. Chapter 498. The means of an emperor-based powerhouse. Where's Shaoyan? A rumbling sound echoed in the sky. The Spirit King stood proudly in the sky with his arms crossed. He looked at Zhu Man and Meng Duo as if he was looking at two ants. Lord Spirit King is also a famous expert in Capital of Chaos. Could it be that he wants to humiliate himself and attack us? Meng Duo suppressed the endless fury in his heart and said indifferently. Attack you? Ridiculous. King is a dignified emperor cultivation. Why would he make things difficult for you too? Upon hearing this, the Spirit King laughed loudly. The words he said made Meng Duo and Zhu Man extremely happy. This old man still cared about his face. However, King wants to capture Shaoyan. You two have to do everything you can to stop him. King can only kill you two along the way. Pausing for a moment, the Spirit King suddenly let out a cold smile and looked at the two of them. It was like a cat toying with a mouse. Upon hearing this, their facial expression changed. They looked at each other without leaving a trace. Both of them could see the fury in each other's eyes. Despite this, they were helpless. The former was an old monster that had been famous in Capital of Chaos for a long time. The two of them alone would not be able to harm him at all. Spirit King, Shaoyan was personally requested by Lord Black Nether Emperor. We are only doing things for Lord Black Nether Emperor. I hope that Lord Black Nether Emperor can let us go this time. The three of us will capture Shaoyan together. At that time, the rewards given by Lord Black Nether Emperor will be given to you, Lord Spirit King. Taking a deep breath, Meng Duo stared at the Spirit King. His voice remained calm, but his body moved slightly. He was ready to escape. I'm almost tempted by what you just said. The Spiritual King couldn't help but laugh when it heard this. It then lowered its arms. The origin key suddenly burst out from his body and rushed towards Meng Duo with lightning speed. Before the latter could react, the 5 fingers of the Spirit King had already pierced through Meng Duo's chest. Fresh blood gurgled out. Meng Duo widened his eyes unwillingly. He opened his mouth, and the life force in his body began to rapidly flow out from his chest. With his talent, he would definitely be able to accomplish something in the Capital of Chaos in the future. He didn't expect that he would die here today. Dong! Meng Duo's body fell down from the sky powerlessly. The Spirit King let out a cold snort and looked coldly at Zhu Man, who was standing beside him. The latter's face had turned deathly pale. When he saw the Spirit King looking at him, he couldn't help but let out a furious roar. His body flashed wildly and he rushed towards the distance like a star. Trying to run, the Spirit King smiled disdainfully. Just as it was about to chase after him, it seemed as if it had sensed something. It suddenly looked down and saw a human figure flashing by. Meng Duo's corpse, which had fallen earlier, had disappeared without a trace. Shaoyan, the Soul King's blood boiled as if it had just seen the reward promised by Black Nether Emperor. It let out a loud roar and stopped chasing after the distant Zhu Man. Killing Meng Duo was just a grudge between them. If it could capture Shaoyan and obtain Black Nether Emperor's recognition, it would be nothing but a dog fart of the Extreme Star Group. At that time, it wouldn't be worth mentioning at all. Hong! His body shot down like a cannonball. In an instant, the Spirit King blasted out nearly 100 palm strikes. Each of the palm strikes whistled down, causing the ground below to cave in. Numerous trees were blasted into pieces. In an instant, a violent wind roared and the ground cracked and mountains collapsed. Let's see where you can run to. In an instant, this forest had already turned into a barren land. The Spirit King lifted its eyes slightly and instantly saw Shaoyan in the distance. Immediately, it laughed wildly. It waved its large hand and the origin key in the entire place was waved. In an instant, it transformed into a huge hand. Its 5 fingers were like mountain pillars as they extended downwards. It directly grabbed Shaoyan, who had soared into the sky, in its palm. Chi! The 5 fingers were suddenly clenched tightly. The Spirit King's expression changed. The excitement between his brows immediately scattered. He clenched his steel teeth tightly and spoke in a ferocious manner. "Damn thing, you dare to trick me." Before he finished speaking, the Spirit King had already soared into the sky. A cold glint flashed across his remaining eyes. He looked at the surrounding forest and sneered. His indifferent voice resounded across the sky, "Shaoyan, come out. Those two trash from the Extreme Star Group have left." After not seeing any movement in the forest for a long time, the Spirit King's face slightly twitched. His single eye revealed a trace of anger. Since that was the case, he could only force him to come out. In a certain dense forest below, Shaoyan was quietly hiding on a huge tree. Through the dense branches and leaves, he looked at the Spirit King in the air. Under the double concealment of soul power and concealment technique, the current Shaoyan seemed to have completely become a lifeless object. After the Spirit King spoke, Shaoyan's face was expressionless. He silently looked at Meng Duo's corpse hidden under a huge rock. The reason he risked being discovered and robbed of Meng Duo's corpse was because of the latter's star power. The star power was the key step in cultivating the Starlight Silent Step. "I need to find a way to get rid of this guy. He killed a Monarch Emperor-level protector of the Extreme Star Group with a single strike. At least, he has the strength that far exceeds an ordinary Emperor cultivation. If we are going to fight him, only the Buddha Fury Fire Lotus will be effective." Shaoyan's thoughts were flying around, and his mind was spinning rapidly. He was trying to think of a way to escape. "Shaoyan, how about I attract his attention and you take the opportunity to escape?" Just as Shaoyan was deep in thought, Xiaoao suddenly let out a sound from his body. His strength had mostly recovered, and he had the ability to fight ordinary Emperor cultivation warriors. Shaoyan frowned slightly. He did not say anything, but his sword-like eyes continued to stare at the Spirit King in the sky. The Spirit King suddenly moved at this moment. Both of his arms were lifted, and the surrounding origin kiss whizzed over. It was as if he was the king of the world, and all the origin kiss had submitted to him. "Xiaoao, let's join hands. Do you dare to fight me?" Shaoyan inhaled a deep breath of air when he saw the action of the Spirit King. With a deep breath, his blood started boiling as he suddenly said. Xiaoao was startled. A moment later, the former's excited voice sounded in Shaoyan's mind, "All right." The clouds in the sky pressed down. The entire forest became dark because of this. The Spirit King stood in midair, waving his arms. The majestic origin key followed behind him. An Emperor cultivation expert, his control over the origin monarch key had reached an even more exquisite level. The origin monarch crystal in his body had been further opened up. The origin key chains were much stronger than before. The number of origin kiss in his body, at the same time, the number of origin kiss within his body had also increased by 100. The power also increased by a large margin. As for Emperor cultivation warriors, although they were not giants in a large world, they were still considered mighty beings. With just a wave of their hands, the origin key was attached to them, causing the origin key to be used by them. The monarch skill in their hands was further strengthened. "Why aren't you coming out yet? Then we'll destroy this forest." Xiaoao in the sky rushed towards him like whirlpools. In that instant, they had already formed a gigantic tornado. The might of an Emperor cultivation warrior's fury could already cause mountains to collapse and destroy cities and earth. Just as the Spirit King was about to wave his hand, his brows suddenly twitched. His eyes, another incarnation. The surrounding origin kiss were all his senses. The Spirit King frowned. When he sensed the true identity of the figure in the distance, he immediately smiled disdainfully. Just as he was about to make a move, he once again let out a cold snort. A free hand suddenly swept across his body as several origin key pillars shot out. A few dozen miles of space flashed by, and accurately hit a few figures that appeared in different directions at the same time. Pooh, pooh, pooh. Following the sound of a few auras fluctuating, these figures transformed into Korki and dissipated. The Spirit King's expression did not change. The tornado vortex in his hand rumbled. Just as it was about to smash into the forest below, a whistling sound suddenly sounded from behind him. In an instant, a huge white tiger appeared in the air. It roared and attacked the Spirit King. Within the white tiger, Xiaoyan's expression was solemn. The clothes on his chest, Hong Long. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.